evening, everyone. This is Gil at Camppatton Family Compound. And with me tonight, I have Tammy from Rebel Canners. And we have no sign of Mark from Chef Tech tonight so far. But it's time for the Monday Night Fireside Chat. And tonight's topic is one that's kind of gets under my skin, so that's why we're doing it. What not approved really means. Hi, how's everybody doing out there? All right, let me go to the comments here, and welcome everybody. And some comments I want to share, and there's one in particular I want to address that's near the bottom there. But all right, so first one in was Shady Hills Homestead. Second one in was Walt Rogers. And if you guys want to read along on this one, go back up. This is not approved equals anything that empowers and promotes skills that keeps them from controlling you. Yeah. Then came in Troop 1351, followed right along with another one. Not approved. Common sense and self-reliance. Then Phelan Klein Wolf came in with not approved. Freedom, life, liberty, and unencumbered ownership of land. Then in parentheses, or in brackets, no property taxes. Next in was Kaylin Strain, then Serena Norell. Getting tongue-tied here. I got a cough drop in my mouth so I don't blow your ears out. Penny Ortiz and on your side there, Tammy.
Thank you, Penny.
Moon Over Miami, Geeky Gardens. And to address the one, I don't know what platform they're using, your church is using for their live streams, but I've got it turned on, but YouTube doesn't bring it up right away during the live streams for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm using StreamYard, and I can't find anything on StreamYard to turn on closed captions unless it's hidden somewhere. So if you can find out if they're streaming on streaming using YouTube or streaming using StreamYard or another streaming platform that does it, I'd be interested to find out. And if they're using something other than StreamYard and YouTube to do the actual streaming of it, I'd like to know how much they're paying too. If it's cheaper. All right, let's see. Yeah. Oh, and Shady Hill Homestead just came in on your side too.
Thank you.
All right. So tonight's what not approved really means. And the reason I picked this out, because I'm hearing this all the time, and I'm hearing people going overboard and taking it beyond what it's supposed to mean. Yeah. And so basically you'll see something, the USDA has not approved water bath canning of milk. I mean, of meat. Sorry.
Well, yeah. First of all, I think we need to define, because we're narrowing this down to the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are three major organizations that people look at to test canned good recipes in the U.S., very much U.S. based. And that is the National Center for Home Food Preservation, the USDA, and what's the other one? Just lost it. Oh my goodness. There's another one. Oh, the colleges all have
extension programs.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
So those are basically the three places where you can check and get recipes, and they vary widely from each other.
Yes.
Very widely. So one may say something is approved, one may say it isn't. So they also contradict themselves on certain things. Okay, so now that we're all working from the same
general boat.
Yeah, now we're all rowing in the same boats. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So as I showed there, CB is here on both sides. Actually, CB is here on my side and your Facebook.
Thank you.
Happy Mac is here on your side. Diana 2 is here on your side. All right, this is one that he posted on Tammy's side. I think he's being funny.
Most of Europe is also out of control.
I'm going to get to that. Matt Anderson just came in on your side.
Oh, thank you.
And Diana 2 came in over my side. All right, so, just as a thing, did you get that?
I did see a link come through. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, well, they showed, but yesterday, Sunday, did you get the thing Sunday? Amazon gift card.
No. I'll have to go back and look. To be honest, I haven't looked in my emails. I'll have to go look.
Okay, but yeah, Diana 2 won it on my 2000 subscriber giveaway on Gray Man Prepping, and she said give it to you.
Oh, thank you, Diana. I really appreciate that.
And Dave Knight, Dave Knight just came in on your side too.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see. So let's head over. Boom. And I got a couple slides here. So not approved does not mean not allowed or not safe.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Well, we're here. Approved is tested and found to be safe. And we're going on USDA here.
Okay. So we're on the same, we're in a single boat now. We're only rowing in the USDA boat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that is the true official government thing. And even then they just, like you say, will contradict themselves sometimes. Disapproved is they tested it and found it not to be safe. And you gave me an example beforehand. You want to give that example again?
In the 1970s, there was a recipe for mock pineapple using zucchini. They did not add enough lemon juice to the original recipe, and it was found to be unsafe. The newer recipes add somewhere in the ballpark of 1/4 cup of lemon juice, which seems like quite a bit, as well as the acidic pineapple juice to the zucchini to make the recipe a safe approved recipe. So there are recipes, people that are out there floating around still, that are proven and tested and found to not be safe.
Yeah.
So
when the USDA actually gets around and tests something, and they go, oh, wait a minute, this is disapproved, and they give it a good reason why. So people rework the recipe, submit that, and they did a test. Okay, now the new one's good.
Likewise, fish. For most of my life, canning fish at 90 minutes for quarts was approved. They did some additional testing and found out that they needed to increase the times. So in the late 1970s, early 1980s, like 1980 or 1981, actually, somewhere in that ballpark, they then increased the times to 110 minutes for quarts. So that is a case where a recipe was tested and found to need alterations, and then they changed it. So, there is some testing that is done. The government has not had a budget in quite a while to do testing, so there has not been a lot of testing done in the last, since the 1980s.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Dave Knight has a message for you. Here it is. All right.
But you should know, Dave, that I am very redneck, and there are a lot of foods I will eat that a lot of people would not eat.
Yeah. He also said his dad worked for Heinz and he survived eating runny ketchup.
There you go.
All right. So Not approved, which is what we're talking about. Not approved is not tested. That's it. They haven't tested it, so they cannot approve it, and they cannot disapprove it. It's just not tested, so that's what not approved is.
Now I'm going to stop here on the not approved. I want to get on my soapbox for a minute. So on the U.S. stock exchange, both of them, doesn't matter which one, there are these things called commodities. Our U.S. government trades these food commodities. So butter is a commodity that is traded on the stock exchange. Pork bellies, aka bacon, is a commodity that is traded on the stock exchange. This is the reason why they will never, ever test butter or bacon. Butter and bacon are not disapproved. Butter and bacon are not approved. Big difference. Okay, off my soapbox. There is a reason these will never be tested.
Yeah. And so a friend of mine at DHS has a friend who works over at a certain agency, doesn't want to be named, doesn't want the agency named, but we all know what agency we're talking about tonight. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Basically, he's kind of, was saying, well, he and a couple others are working on trying to get archived memos and stuff that are in paper format only because they didn't have email and crap back then. And they're trying to get it up the chain of command, skipping a bunch of people to get it to those that will do something with it, aka the Trump administration, and to get more formal stuff put out on it saying, oh, and to put out to the public that not approved just means we haven't tested it yet.
Yeah.
The other thing they want to do is try to get, hey, can we get some of this money that Doge has discovered and brought into the USDA, brought into an agency to test, actually conduct tests, since we don't have money to test everything like we should?
You mean like the millions that were sent to a abandoned building for how many years? They don't know how long the building was abandoned.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Came in on your side. Two more. Rudy. I can't pronounce the last name, with autism, Homestead.
Oh, hi. Yes, I know who you mean. I've seen their name. Yes.
Yeah. And then Sandra Volmar just came in as well on your side.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Now, the last thing here was I talked to him again today, and he had me change the wording here on the last one. He had me change it from generally recognized as safe, because he said, don't put that in there, because that's the BS line that a lot of these food companies are using for ingredients that have never been tested. They're just generally recognized as safe. And he says, no, don't put that in there, because that stuff is, a lot of us don't recognize it as safe, but we can't do anything about it yet. And he sounded very hopeful about somebody changing the rules so they can do stuff about it and get rid of that generally recognized as safe totally out of all food stuff. But so he said just put it generally accepted as safe.
Yes.
And that's what it goes up, this goes more historically too, and it fits a little bit better. Has been done for decades with no evidence of being unsafe, and therefore is not needed to be tested as long as everyone follows the times.
So under this category is milk. Milk was being canned by major canneries in the United States for many, many years, couple decades, before the USDA was created. And it was another couple decades before the USDA put their hand in home canning. So, somewhere between 20 and 40 years, it was being canned at home and in factories and being used, and everybody recognized that it can be done and it was okay to do. And so it has never been tested, because why waste, back in those days, they didn't waste government money to test something that they were already using. and doing, because it was
Uh,
generally accepted practice.
Matt, go ahead and do that. Everyone else do that too. Of course, Elon is a temporary employee and he's reaching his 130 days and he's going to step down. Otherwise, he has to become a permanent government employee. Hopefully, he'll step down for a couple of weeks and get reappointed as a temporary for another 130 days, which will just really tick off a whole bunch of Democrats. But I'm not going there. But yeah. All right. So,
and if he can save Social Security, so I actually get a check when I'm old, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
He and I are okay. We may have some differences on other things, but if he can save Social Security, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Now he's one of the 7 members of Trump's administration that are former Democrats, and there is one current Democrat who is one of the most outspoken ones on Trump's, Kennedy.
Yeah,
he's still a registered Democrat, and he's out there just hammering for the people.
Yeah, he's not changing parties either.
Yeah.
That would be really bad at the family reunion if he changed parties. But he is an example of why we can all work together and get these things done. And he really is going after food safety in America.
Yeah.
And I may not like it because I really like sugar pop, but he is really going after all of the unhealthy ingredients in soda pop.
There are some cool recipes out there, homemade recipes for some really good stuff that is all natural ingredients.
I just did a ginger bug, but I'm really not a fan of ginger.
Yeah. Well, there's root beer. There's some root beer ones
really
out
great homemade root beer that has only natural ingredients.
Yeah, there's good root beer ones. There's some good grape soda ones and some good orange soda ones, and not ginger ale, but it's sort of like a lemonade. It's like a sparkly lemonade.
Mm-hmm. I've also done the kombucha, and I'm just not a big fan. Yeah. But we're all going to have to make some sacrifices, and I'm probably going to be sacrificing my fountain pop soon.
Yeah.
We all have to do things we don't like.
All right, next, the last slide. Most people don't realize that, but most countries water bath everything. That's most countries other than the U.S.
And this was pre-2020. In order to get a pressure canner to Australia, the shipping and handling for an All-American was the same price as the All-American, which is right around $470. I looked into it to send one to Australia. Yeah. It would have cost me $470 in shipping fees on top of buying the All-American. Oh, I absolutely love sassafras tea. I do have sassafras syrup that I make sassafras tea with. And I absolutely love sassafras. And if I could make it sparkly with a little, CO2, I would be a happy girl.
Yeah. On Saturdays on Shadow Scouts Swedes Live, and the last couple of them, I've been broadcast streaming it, like Tammy's streaming this one off of mine as well here. Yeah. We were talking about canning over there. Oh,
I wish I'd have been invited.
And this just popped up for about a little half-hour segment, and I was questioning them, and they dug in on who do you know of in your country that cans? Do they water bath or pressure can? And everything was water bath. Yeah. England and stuff and everything, and they were talking about there's a few around. And someone goes, I don't know of anyone that water baths that cans anymore, because their parents and grandparents did going back to World War II, but now they don't do it anymore.
They're really, and this is the wonderful thing about Europe. Number one, Europe does not have the the common housefly.
Yeah.
So you can go to an open air market and the food is just out there and it's not on display and it's not getting touched by things that is going to cause it to break down as fast as like here in the US. I mean, I wish we could eradicate these things. But they buy everything fresh. So if that day they will go to the market and buy their bread on their way home from dinner or to make dinner. They will buy their ingredients for that meal all fresh, which we are terrible at doing that. I mean, we do not eat local at all. We don't eat fresh ingredients like they do. Their health is so much better because of that.
Yeah. All right. There is something interesting here. I got to wait for it to load again. I just sent Tammy the link to it. I'm not sure if I should put this out there or not. I will put the link out there so everybody can go watch this. This is amazing when I got to get it back up here so I can find it again.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'll watch it after this too.
Yeah, so there's it.
The other thing.
All right, so this is from a channel called Freedom Knocks on Facebook. And the guy, I'm just going to talk about it and I'll drop the link in here for it so you guys can look at it because it's very interesting. And there's the link for it, guys. You may want to check, save that, open it in a different, you go ahead and open it, you click up, right click on it, open it in a new tab and you watch it afterwards. But basically he does he takes a sample of the white stuff. Hang on, I'll just show a quick picture, sample the white stuff there. And he sent it off to a lab, and that was from the store. And then he got some raw white stuff and sent it off to the store. And with the results was absolutely amazing.
The difference from eating fresh, raw, unprocessed things.
What's in it? So here's this one has all the stuff like Bacillus subtilis and all these others came back on the one. The other one I believe had absolutely nothing in it. 9 things came back, as quote contaminated in it. And I'm watching here. Oh, and the other one came back. That. All right. And that one that came back, that Bacillus, whatever heck it is one of the worst things, there is ever in, and everyone, that's what they're saying is in the natural stuff, nature made. And it came back, none of it was in the nature made. All that long list was all in the store-bought stuff.
Well, you have to realize that store-bought milk is only 4% milk.
Yeah.
Let that set in for just a minute.
Yeah, the whole milk.
Whole milk at the store is only 4% milk.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, All right, I've mentioned it before on other live streams, just as passing. We used to have cows, milk cows. We had 2. We had Sally, and I forget the name of the other one. And anyways, they were Guernsey Jersey mixes.
Oh, yes. Yes, I remember this.
So we would milk and we'd strain it into with the old pickle jars, the gallon jug pickle jars with the big wide lids on it. And we had people around, neighbors and stuff, specifically the Vianos of Vianos Vineyards right up the road from us. And the Eccles were buying milk from us. And basically, so we take it, we wouldn't skim anything off of it. So this is totally real whole milk.
With the cream still.
Yes, everything's still there. And this is what we used to do. I'm not advocating anybody do this now. Now I'm telling what we used to do back in the day when it was legal. Back in the 70s. And basically, so we put it in the fridge and we'd leave it in there for 24 hours before we'd sell it. When we take it out, the skim on that looked like half and half. The top of it was almost yellow.
Butter.
Yeah, it was so. And I took a quarter several different times, 12 inches above it, and dropped it, and it went bloop and stuck halfway into the, half the distance of the quarter into the cream. It was so thick. Oh, you wanna talk about some absolutely heavenly ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh, Lewis is here over there on your side and my side, and this is what he posted on your side.
Oh yes, thank you, Lewis. He has been a member for 9 months. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So, but yeah, so that I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna put a little more on it here before I post it back in real on ST store MILK versus there's the link going back in on that reel. Watch it yourselves, make your own judgment. Waiting to see more data coming out on this. So yeah. Here he is. A day late and $1 short.
Hey, at least I texted Tammy and said, I'm going to be a little late. I was on the phone with my potential future boss. So, yeah, I have priorities in life.
I am sorry. I did not get that message. I would have told Gil.
Oh.
Yeah.
It did not come across the top of my screen.
Well, I did it at like 10 of, so you were probably talking.
Probably.
Yeah.
Me talking? No.
So, what's not approved? I missed probably the good meat of the subject.
We'll bring that up again here in a second now that more people are coming in here. But the link I just dropped in there was a reel on store-bought milk, and the only versus dang it, I said the word.
Real white stuff.
Yeah, the real white stuff you can get from a local person. Hey, Aiden there just came in too.
Wait, did we start
late?
You
cannot get it from a local person. You have to get it from your own.
Did you start late tonight?
No.
Oh, okay.
Around here, we can get it from a local person. We basically we get it for animal use.
Oh, okay. Well, in some places,
I'm a human animal.
Share from a farmer, but not in this state.
Yeah, remember Pennsylvania, I can go to. There's a couple stores I can go in there and buy the raw A2 raw milk.
Yeah.
Okay, we're jealous of you, and we're jealous of you, and yeah, we're jealous of you.
Sorry.
Remember back in the 60s, 70s, Jiminy Cricket singing the song, "You are a human animal." Yeah. So
I should have wore my hat that says "Make milk raw" again.
Yeah. Anyways,
there's somebody doing at the food summit. They're going to be talking about canning milk. I saw that.
Yeah, Shenanigans is in here. All right, Shenanigans is here. All right, so anyway, so the testing of the Nature's Made straight from nature had only one thing in it. The other had 9 different things in it. So nature had the one here, and yeah. That was it. Whereas the other one had a long list, including a couple nasties.
Yeah. So fun fact, they just dump all of that into great big vats that you see driving down the highway from multiple sources and locales. And then they take it somewhere to have it processed. So, it's not like, the 4-legged friend that you've just spent a few minutes with.
No, it's 400 4-legged friends.
It's way more than 400.
Yeah.
All right.
More like 1,000.
I probably missed this, and I never got a chance to ask this to you personally, Tammy. Can't not approve, but could I potentially try to can raw milk? Never done it.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
we'll talk.
the process of canning it does pasteurize it.
Right. Okay.
Without removing all the goodness out of it, the other stuff that they do.
No,
when they do
I know the process time and all that
so
stuff. I did it once with whole milk and 2%. It was, well, I'll call it good milk. It was more expensive than the other stuff, but it wasn't raw milk.
Yeah.
It is going to become like cream, or like
that works. I love that. I always use it for my coffee, so we're good.
So you can always take it up a notch. So if you use skim, it's going to be like 1%. If you use 1% after you can it, it's going to be like 2%. If you use 2% after you can it, it's going to be like what they call in the store whole milk, which is 4% milk. So if you're canning raw milk, it's going to be even richer than that. Just FYI.
Okay, so I remember when the milk I canned a few years back, based on me talking to you and people on Rebel Canners. After about a year, it was still good. After about a year, it had this, I'll call it, it was like a fat that was stuck to the glass. And I literally had to scrub it off. Heat wouldn't take it off. I ran it through the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take it off. I had to scrub it off. What is that?
That's the fat.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it still tasted great in my coffee. I drank some right out of the jar. My mom back in the day was just like, what is that? And I told her, and she was impressed. And I drank a little bit. I was like, yeah, it tastes like evaporated milk.
It does. I don't like to even put it, even if I put it in the refrigerator, I don't like to like put it on my cereal. But if I put some cocoa powder in it and make hot cocoa, or I usually use it to bake.
Yeah, well, I use mine for coffee.
We don't go through enough to have a whole big pitcher of it in our refrigerator, or even a little container. We don't eat that much stuff in the morning that requires the white stuff on it. So having it in my pantry, so that in easy 2-cup portions, so that's what usually I need for bread or quick bread or whatever I'm baking, is really handy for me.
All right, so jumping back in for those that come in, the 3 slides we went over. Not approved does not mean not allowed or not safe. Yep. Basically, here are the description. We're talking about our favorite governmental 4-letter agency here. This is their stuff.
That's their verbiage.
Yeah, their verbiage. Approved is tested and found to be safe. Disapproved is tested and found to be not safe. And there's only been a few instances of that. When Tammy talked about the mock pineapple, where they used what was it?
They used zucchini to make pineapple, a mock pineapple, but they didn't add acid, and the original recipes did not have enough lemon juice. They didn't add enough acid. So the newer recipes were modified to add more lemon juice to make them safe. So if you're using a 1970 recipe, you might want to update to a 1980s recipe on that.
Yeah. And so not approved, what it means is not tested, period. Yep. That's it. Not approved is not tested. And so they can they cannot approve it, nor can they disapprove it. So it's just not tested. That's all it means.
All those people out there clutching their pearls and their knickers are in a knot are really, really not paying attention to what the Alphabet Soup Agency has actually said.
And when I mentioned on the one time that I was going to try to water bath can some of the cooked meat. Mm-hmm. Oh man, you can't do that. I hope you're not going to do that and let your little grandbabies eat it. It's not safe. And I had to explain back to it. Yeah, it is safe. Well, it's not approved. And I had to explain this to her. Not approved only means it's not tested. So the agency cannot say it's approved or disapproved because they haven't tested it. That's all it means. And it's generally accepted as safe because it's being done since canning first came out.
Yes.
There was no pressure canners. All we did here in the U.S. when originally was water bath canning. And so there were several people, no, it doesn't. No, yes, it does. And the one person, that's illegal. You can't do it. It's against the law. You're going to get arrested. And I go, really? What law? Tell me. I would like to see that law because I know for a fact there is no such law about that.
No.
So I'm getting frustrated with these idiots. When God was handing out brains, they misunderstood and thought he said trains, and they go, no, I don't want a train. So they didn't get a brain.
But they need to really, like, if they're not using the same verbiage of the organization that they're quoting, and I love it, if they don't get the result they want from one alphabet soup agency, they change the other. Because, of course, the two don't always agree with each other. It's like, I don't have time for that kind of in my life.
The main thing to remember, if you're doing it the old-fashioned way, that is generally accepted as safe from your great-grandparents, make sure you're doing it for the full amount of time.
Follow all the steps.
Yes. No shortcuts.
There's one more step when you're water bath canning than when you are pressure canning. And that is to heat your product for 5 minutes longer at higher altitudes after you open it up before you eat it.
Yeah.
So if you do not follow that step, and for some reason, people seem to think, well, I don't have to do it for this, so I don't have to do it for that. Nope. That is an extra step. You need to do it. And that's one of the reasons I started Rebel Canners, is to teach people that you can't mix methods and you can't take shortcuts.
Yeah.
And
there is no shortcuts in this. There's no, those of you that play online games and stuff, sorry, there's no cheat codes. There is no cheat codes.
Yep.
The lid didn't go ping, it's not magically preserved. Okay.
Even if it went ping, if you didn't follow all the right steps, it's not magically preserved.
Yeah.
All right.
I still have all my memes for that. Every one of them.
Yeah. And the last one is, remember, currently today, most countries in the world water bath everything. The United States is the #1 country for pressure canning. And a lot of countries, it's cost prohibitive for them to buy a pressure canner.
Yeah, very much so. It shocked me, the shipping and handling to some countries. And
remember, here in the U.S., there are several groups of people that don't pressure can. They water bath can everything. They don't have TVs. They don't have cell phones generally. They don't have. We all know who I'm talking about.
Nah, not a clue.
Yeah, if you don't know, just look up. Just go watch Weird Al Yankovic's Amish Paradise. You'll know who I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I love that song. I found out that song. Bros, that song that Weird Al Yankovic did made more money than the original one, than Gangster Paradise.
He's just good at the parodies.
Yeah. So there are. With that said, and what Tammy said specifically about how earlier she said about the fish time had been increased because they did more testing on it. Figure, all right, I've got more bacteria living in these things. Yep. Like she says, probably from the extra bacteria now in the oceans. And so they increased it, 20 minutes?
Yeah, it went from 90 to 110. So yes,
20 minutes.
Yep.
If you happen to have one of the old ball books or one of the old curve books from back in the 40s and 50s, just remember there are some things that have been time added to.
Yeah.
But beef is still the same. Chicken is still the same. so far. They haven't had to change those in turkey and stuff.
For now.
For now, yes, Mark. For now.
You know, and there are things they say that are not recommended, and you know, they at least tell you the reason.
Yeah.
And then you can decide for yourself, well, I'm not going to follow that recommendation, or I am going to follow that recommendation. But
Yeah.
at least be knowledgeable about why.
Yeah.
You know.
So so I mean, because you know, I'm getting on this again. My grandmother did not own a pressure canner, and she canned all the friggin' time. My great grandmother did not own a pressure canner, and she pressure canned all the time. My grandmother's sister, Aunt B, did not own a pressure canner, and she canned all the time. My grandmother's 13 brothers and sisters, 13 brothers, one sister, their wives did not own pressure canners. We're talking ranch people here, people.
I'm talking one step further. My mom did not water bath tomatoes, and my mom did not water bath applesauce. We hot packed it, and that was it. We did not process it once we hot packed it.
Nope.
So
cook it, boil it,
but you have to
jar,
know.
put the lid
Just
on
a
it.
minute, Mark. One more minute. You have to know that the shelf life of that is not the same as if you boiling water bath it or pressure can. You can actually do both of those in the pressure canner. You just have to go down to 5 pounds of pressure. But anyway, the shelf life is not as long. But my mom wasn't trying to get a year's worth of shelf life even out of it. She just wanted that 6 months through the winter. Yeah. So, you know.
But you also had
that piece of knowledge.
You also had to follow those steps exactly. You had to get the jars at a certain temperature before you put stuff in it. You poured the hot stuff into the hot jar. You had to do all the steps just right.
Yes.
That's the old pour your hot stuff into a hot jar and flip it upside down.
No flipping. We didn't flip.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying. I remember seeing lots of that. It's like, okay, sure, it's sealed and it might be fine. You never know.
It was fine because those items were high enough acid, so they actually were fine. You know, but she didn't do other things that way, like you know. But those two items.
Talking about the applesauce, hot packing the applesauce. It's been a year now. It's been actually a little bit over a year since Dr. Paula Ruffin did that live stream on the applesauce she did. Of course, at the last, she also poured a bit of bourbon in each of them too.
She was sanitizing her jars with bourbon. It's okay.
Yeah.
She was a little rebel for me because she was like opening the jars and just putting it in. It wasn't even heated up, and I'm like, and then she wasn't boiling water bath, and I was like, oh, you're a little more rebel than me tonight, but you know, that's okay. It's your kitchen, it's your rules. And I would actually go and eat her stuff the way she did it. But you know,
with that bourbon in there, and alcohol. Yeah.
You know, so, you know, but there are people who wouldn't, and that's okay. It's their kitchen, their rules, my kitchen, my rules, you know.
Right. So I want to talk about everything here a little bit about everything that our grandparents water bath that they say that that is not recommended anymore for water bathing. It's only recommended for pressure canning, such as Brussels sprouts, green beans, meat, all the different types of meat. What things did your mom or if anybody that you knew that used to water bath everything, what were the day we water bathing?
Everything.
Corn.
Whatever they had on the farm that they needed to preserve.
Yeah.
You know. What
I like here in the pictures on either side of Mark there on the shelves. Under Tammy, that looks like some cucumbers, some cucumber stuff.
There are a lot of old recipes that just open kettled cucumber. They would sanitize their jars. I'm not going to use the sterilized word because we all know that. I know that it's not sterilized. It's only sanitized.
Yeah.
Sanitize their jars, pack their cucumbers in, and then pour boiling syrup over it, put the lid on, then let it seal.
Yeah.
You know.
And over here, right here, I see whole green beans on the shelf here, and then down below it, I see big chunky. I see tomato sauce and stuff, but I see some other stuff that looks like
that's chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, it's got a mixture of stuff in it. Look, I see it looks like carrots and possibly some celery in there, some other stuff, and chicken pieces in there.
Yeah, that's chicken soup minus the noodles.
Soups and stews. I know my grandmother and great grandmother water bath those, and because they talked about it being a whole day. They do prep the day before, started cooking stuff, kept the fire going, keep stuff cooking all night long, and the next day, they were canning like 150 jars of stews and stuff.
Yep.
Assembly line.
Runners there probably went in the water bath for about an hour, or hour and a half, or whatever they put it in for, and
Neat time is 3 to 4 hours, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
For water bath. So if it has meat in it, it's a 3 to 4 hour water bath.
And my grandmother
there's
said
a difference between U.S. water bath recommendations and European. The European is more on the 3 hour side, and the American is more on the 4 hour side. Who's right? I don't know. What altitude are they at? Nobody's actually been telling me that or writing it down on these recipes. So again, water bath time increases with altitude. The higher the elevation, the longer you need to process that. So try to remember that. That stays the same.
Yeah. And one of the things here in the U.S., a lot of the water bathers, well, I know they're at lower altitudes, but a lot of them are up in the Appalachians and stuff, higher altitudes anyway. So that's probably as the families moved westward, they learned the higher altitudes, and they just kept the times as they got back down to the plain states. And when they got back up to the Rocky Mountains, they needed to make sure they had that longer time. My grandmother was telling me about the times they were doing it. They had something like 8 kettles going, water bath kettles. Yeah. So they'd be doing one, and so by the time they got done doing back around, okay, it's time to take these out, put more jars in.
Yep.
Keep adding water to it.
Yep. Not old enough for her. I'm tempted to try her recipe, but I don't like that splash of stuff she put in there. But sounds good in applesauce though. Might be okay in applesauce.
Probably almost as good as your baby sauce for sore throats.
My baby sauce, yes. I need to make baby sauce this summer. I got another baby on the way.
All right.
I have a granddaughter due in October.
All right, we got a question here. Matt wants to know, can we talk about canning healthy pasta rings for our kids?
Yes. So you go to the store and you buy the little pastas in the specialty pasta section. Sometimes they're next to the regular pasta. Sometimes they're in the ethnic foods in the Italian section. You can buy those little rings. You can put them in your tomato sauce. Put them in, I think it's 1 to 2 tablespoons per pint. And then fill it up with your sauce. I wouldn't recommend using a meat sauce because then you're overcooking them and they get all soggy and nasty. And then you process it with your tomatoes. At least an inch
of headspace, yeah.
And an inch of headspace, yep. And it's the same as your tomato sauce time.
Yeah, the rings will absorb the pasta rings and cook, and then you're sealed.
I know you think that they start out so little tiny, like smaller than my pinky, and they wind up like the regular ones you buy at the store.
I did that with I picked up a button. I probably still have some somewhere. They're now like 7 years old. The dried pasta ravioli, the cheese ravioli, they were dried from Trader Joe's.
Tortellini, yeah.
Yep, I picked up a bunch of boxes and I tried, this is back during when I was like all over Rebel Canners. I did some in like some light tomato sauce and tomato juice and things. And I think I still have a couple jars in the cabinet here. They're from 2016 and they're probably still fine. Yeah. And it was the flavor I didn't really like, but yeah, it worked.
I do not like the dehydrated
the dried cheese raviolis. Yeah.
Cheese. I don't like the cheese raviolis.
No, I didn't, because I like raviolis, but not those. And I tried them, like, okay, it worked, but I don't like the flavor because
I'd rather just. And my thing is, I'm gonna open that up and I'm gonna boil it for a few minutes because I'm serving it hot anyway. And the time it takes me to boil it, I can add fresh.
Right. Exactly.
So it's not a time saver for me, and if it's not saving time, it's taking up more space in my jars. So I need more jars on my shelf, which means I'm taking up more shelf space. It isn't economical for me to do that.
Yeah, no.
But I have done some alphabet soup with the little tiny alphabets. And I have used the orzo, the big dried rices that are the orzo. They're different than the regular like rice.
So they went from small letters to capital letters.
Yes.
Wow. Thunder. I thought I saw lightning. I'm like, what was that flash? And I'm like, maybe it was just me.
You got a wizard around there trying to cast fireballs?
Probably. Doesn't like me talking about rebel canning.
Yeah. There's one of the reels I keep popping up. This one guy channel. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it has to do with D&D, and he's like the dungeon master, whatever, everything. And people keep sending him these reels of lightning flashes hitting the mountain, everything going, and other houses exploding and stuff like that. He goes, "I told you not to let the barbarians have the firecaster."
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah, you can add the pastas. You're just gonna have to experiment and see what you like. But the more dense and harder the pasta, the better the results will be. In my opinion.
Yeah, Kaylin says I'm upsetting God again. No, I'm not.
I'm sorry. I just looking up something here. All American 41.5 quart pressure canner, the 41 and a half quart pressure canner has dropped to $6.49.
Nice.
Oh, is that all?
I remember being up at $9.99 on Amazon here. Nice. And it's the same.
I remember going, I don't need one that big. I have two 930s and two 925s. I don't need a bigger one.
Well, I need the bigger one so I can use all my mom's half-gallon jars and all the half-gallon jars my wife has bought.
There you go.
Oh, I can fit. You can fit 4 half-gallon jars or 3 in a 930.
Yeah, I think it's 931. I'm gonna look and try to see what the 910. Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm trying to remember what we have 21 quart ones here. So yeah. But yeah, and right now back in December 21st, 2019, right before it really hit. Mm-hmm. The price of the 41.5 quart pressure cooker canner is the same price of what the current 21.5 All-American is today, $3.98.
Oh, I have something. Do you mind if I share something? Superb is now making their own jars, and they are more tempered. And if you use the code RebelCanners20, you get 20% off right now.
Cool.
So they now have, in addition to pints, they now have quarts. And they have large and smallmouth in both now.
Any is the case sensitive or not?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that should be it right there. Rebel Canners 20.
Yep. So
Because
just
I
want to
know.
share that in case you're thinking of buying any jars to go with the canner on sale.
Yeah.
And of course, they come with superb lids, which is a bonus because those things are wonderful.
Yes. All right. All right. We're coming up on the hour mark here. So, coming up here, are you doing a live this week?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
Not sure what's going on this week.
So everybody keep an eye out. Keep an eye out, folks.
I might pop up Wednesday, or I might pop up, which is tomorrow, or I might pop up Thursday. We'll see.
All right.
Kind of depends on nap time for my grandson. Let's be honest. He's running my life right now.
That's like Robin across the street. Her 3 grandkids were over there running their life.
I called
All
him
right.
a little tiny tornado today. He woke up. He spent the weekend traveling to Pennsylvania and back in 3 days. And he was just like so glad to be able to be home and run around. And he got up this morning. He just was running from one thing to the other. He'd torture the dog for a little while. And then he'd run around and he'd spin me in the recliner around and around for a minute. I'm like, I can't do the spin. Then he'd run through his tunnel and then he'd run back to the dog. And he was just like, oh my goodness.
Howie, what time?
Ooh.
Is it going to be like an all day one for Earth Day, or what will it be? See if I can get Howie in here on that one. Howie just popped in. I didn't catch him popping in.
Hi, Howie.
All right. So tomorrow night on my other channel, Gray Man Prepping, for Tactical Tuesday, the topic is don't bug out for these events. Because people are talking about bugging out for the stupidest little things again on their little, I'm going to be bugging out for this, so we need to get ready to bug out. Why? Anyways, so we're going to go over certain events tomorrow night of, do not bug out for these.
I
And I'll
cannot
explain
carry
why.
all of my canning jars, so I will be bugging in.
Yeah. Thursday night on Gray Man Prepping, 10 o'clock. Everything is 8 o'clock Eastern except for Thursday night, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. It's the midnight ride. News and whatever's going on in the world. Friday, back here on Camppatton Family Compound, the topic is protect your homestead assets, and your homestead can be as simple as an acre or less. So that's going to be talking about ways to protect your assets on your homestead. Saturday on Gray Man Prepping, continuing all year long, we're going to be doing an event. And so the event on this Saturday is after the fuel runs out, what are your plans? So, and we've all had little miniatures of that one. During the 70s, all of a sudden the fuel shortage, where they were dumping tankers out in the Mojave Desert. Yeah.
I don't want to know.
No, they didn't do that. They never did that. It was just we couldn't get the gas, so it was expensive, and we had odd even days. I remember sitting online with my dad.
There's a lot of 8mm film of them doing that. Okay, yep. Howie says all day long. So he'll be going all day long, so you guys can check in with him. And
what day is this? What day is this?
Earth Day.
22nd. Earth Day. 8 more days. Yeah. And for those of you who are in Northern California, let me check something, because it's either the Saturday before or the Saturday after. Let me look this up really quick here for in Northern California event I used to go to all the time. John Muir Day. So actually they're not doing it on the weekend. It looks like they're doing it on Monday the 21st. Is that right? Monday the 21st? Yeah, Monday the 21st. So next Monday, if Northern California, at the John Muir house in Martinez, California, is the John Muir celebration.
Oh.
So it'll be a lot of, it's free to get in. There's a lot of booths and stuff. different organizations are there promoting all sorts of nature stuff. And I have some hikes too going up Mount Wanda on the other side of Highway 4. There's a nice tunnel that goes under Highway 4.
You froze.
There's a nice tunnel going from the John Muir property under Highway 4 up to Mount Wanda. So, yeah. All righty. All right, let's continue on here. So Friday is protecting your homestead. Saturday is the when the fuel runs out. Next Monday here, tinctures and other infusions.
Ooh.
So,
I've been on an extract kick. I think I've done 5 extract videos in the last month.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to listen to that one because I got nothing to offer for that.
I'm pretty much have nothing to offer other
You
than
do
some of the,
have, Mark, you have everything to offer because the next extract I want to make is, drum roll please, lemon balm.
Okay, fine. Yes, and I have the seeds, and now I'm watching all along my foundation, and they're all starting to grow. So now I'm like, do I want to just send them now, or do I want to like wait until the food show and just bring a ton of stuff and hand it to you? It's like, here.
Thank you.
all right. And that's what's coming up here for the next week. Uh-oh. Did the whole thing freeze?
No, we can hear you.
No.
Okay. All right. It was YouTube froze over on the other side because on Camppatton it froze. On Gray Man Prepping it was still going.
Okay.
Because you froze. Yeah, exactly. All right, folks. Thank you for coming in. If you have any suggestions for topics that you would like to see us address here on Monday night dealing with canning and food preservation, send an email either to Tammy at rebelcanners@gmail.com or to me at Camppatton Family Compound. My email's in the bottom of my description on my side and in all my videos. Scroll down to the bottom of the description, you'll find the email. That way we can plug it in and we can do something that you guys want to hear about.
And we move it to the front of the line. So
yeah. At least but 1 week out.
Yeah.
All right. And see over here. All right. With that, everyone, stay happy, stay safe. Learn, if you don't know how to water bath can, learn to water bath. If you don't know how to pressure can, learn to pressure can. It's not that hard. I was scared to death of it. Now I've been doing a bunch of pressure canning now.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Take care.